In the quiet town of Belridge, there was a railway track that hadn't been used in over 50 years. The station was abandoned, the signs rusted, and the tracks were overgrown with grass and weeds. Locals said the train stopped running after a mysterious accident, but no one really knew what happened. One cold October evening, 19-year-old Ethan, a curious and adventurous boy, was walking home from a friend's house. The wind howled, and the sky was filled with dark clouds. As he passed the old station, he heard something strange, a distant whistle, long and eerie. He stopped. Another whistle, louder this time. And then out of the thick fog, a train appeared. It was black, shiny, and looked brand new, not all like something abandoned long ago. The lights were on, and steam hissed from beneath it. The sign on the engine read, "Number 13 Belridge Express." Ethan was stunned. He checked his phone. No signal. No messages. Just silence. The train came to a full stop at the old platform. The door of the last coach opened with a slow creak, almost as if inviting him in. His curiosity took over. He stepped inside. The inside of the train was beautiful. Polished wooden seats, glowing chandeliers, and soft music playing in the background. But it was empty. Not a single person in sight. He walked down the aisle. "Hello," he called out. No answer. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind him, and the train jerked forward. "Hey! Wait! Stop!" Ethan shouted, but it was too late. The train was moving. The world outside turned darker and stranger. Trees seemed to bend unnaturally, and shadows moved even when nothing was there. Time lost meaning. His watch stopped. His phone died. Each coach he passed looked different. One looked like a ballroom from the 1800s, with people dancing. Except when he looked closer, their faces were empty. Another had snow falling inside it, yet it felt warm. And one coach had mirrors on every wall, showing not his reflection, but twisted versions of himself, older, darker, evil. He finally reached the engine room. An old man sat there, dressed in a black uniform, eyes glowing faintly. "Where's this train going?" Ethan demanded. The man turned slowly. "You're on the last train to nowhere, a place for those who wander too far, who ask too many questions, who chase the wrong mysteries." "I want to go back." Ethan shouted. "You should have thought of that before stepping in." The man said coldly, "This train runs one way only." Suddenly, everything shook. Ethan lost his balance and blacked out. He woke up on the same old platform. It was morning. The train was gone. He looked around, confused. His phone worked again. The time was normal. But something was off. When he returned to town, no one remembered him. Not his parents. Not his friends. Not even his teachers. His name was gone from the school register. From social media. From everything. It was as if he never existed. Ethan now walks the town alone, a shadow of who he was, warning others. If you ever hear the whistle of a train on a foggy night, never get on, because not every train takes you home. Final chapter. The hidden track. Ethan stared at the screen. Eliza Mayfield, declared found. His heart raced with joy, but it didn't last long. Later that night, as he returned home, he found an old piece of paper tucked beneath his desk lamp. It was yellowed and torn at the edges. A line was scrawled across it in red ink. "You only stop one of the tracks, but the train has many and one of them still runs. Conductor number 13. Ethan froze. He called Eliza immediately. "Eliza, we didn't stop the train. We stopped the train. There's another one, still running." On the other end, her voice trembled. "I know. I saw it in my dream. This time, it's taking someone else. And it's not the same train." There was an old, forgotten tunnel beyond the Belridge Forest. Locals called it Devil's Mouth. They said no one ever came out of it sane. Ethan and Eliza believed the other train ran through that tunnel, hidden, invisible, and ancient. At 3 a.m., with only flashlights and their courage, they entered the tunnel. The silence was suffocating. The walls were damp. The deeper they went, the colder it got. Then suddenly, a red glow, a train emerged. But this one was unlike any before. Its body was black with gold lining, and its wheels sparked as it slowed down. On the front was an iron plate that read, "Train number 0, the Eternal Line." Inside the windows, Ethan saw something horrifying. Souls, not people, floating, writhing, screaming, like they were trapped in time. Eliza gasped. These aren't passengers. These are the ones who never escaped. They knew they couldn't just ride this train and escape. They had to destroy it. Ethan pulled out the same talisman from before. Eliza opened an ancient spellbook given to her by her grandmother, written in Latin and lost languages. The train stopped. The door to the engine opened, and out stepped a tall figure in black robes. Face hidden, voice dark and heavy. "I am Conductor number 0, it said. This line was never meant to be broken. Ethan shouted, "We're ending this tonight." The conductor laughed. "Time isn't a path. It's a prison, and this train is the key." Eliza began chanting from a book. The train shook violently. The spirits inside howled louder. The ground cracked beneath their feet. The sky above the tunnel turned black. Ethan threw the talisman toward the train's engine. A blinding flash. A deafening roar. Then silence. Ethan awoke in a hospital bed. Bright white walls. Birds chirping outside. Eliza sat next to him, smiling gently. "It's over," she said. "We did it." Ethan smiled back, but something felt off. When he got home, he reached into his coat pocket and found something that shouldn't have been there. A golden ticket. Brand new. Clean. No burns. No dirt. It shimmered in the light, and it read, "This ticket never expires. Seat reserved, Ethan Gray, carriage 0. Now, Ethan lives his life almost like nothing ever happened. But some nights, when the fog rolls in and the wind carries a whistle through the air, he knows. The train isn't gone. It's just waiting, watching. And if you ever find a golden ticket in your coat pocket, don't wait for the next train, because the next train is already waiting for you. The Last Train to Nowhere, Part 4. Chapter title, The Passenger Who Never Boarded. Ethan held the golden ticket in his hand, staring at it in disbelief. Seat reserved, Ethan Gray, carriage 0. He had burned the Eternal Line, destroyed the tracks, sent the conductor into the void. So why was this ticket still new? He tried tearing it. It wouldn't rip. He set it on fire. The flames avoided it like it was alive. That night, he couldn't sleep. Every few minutes, he swore he heard the sound of a distant train whistle, even though the nearest tracks were miles away. Then, at exactly 3 a.m., a new message appeared on the ticket in glowing red ink. "Your seat is ready." Ethan's phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. "You missed your train, Ethan, but we didn't forget you. The Mirror Man." The next morning, Ethan looked in the bathroom mirror and saw something terrifying. His reflection blinked, but he didn't. His reflection slowly smiled, a twisted, knowing smile, and raised a hand to the glass. Ethan stumbled back, heart racing. The reflection whispered without sound, "You were never meant to survive." Just then, a knock on the door. He rushed to answer. Nobody there. Just an envelope on the ground. Inside, an old photograph. It showed Ethan as a child, standing near a train station. Behind him, the Eternal Line. But that was impossible. That photo was from when he was 5. That train hadn't even existed yet, had it? Eliza's secret. Ethan rushed to find Eliza. She was in her backyard, burning old books, one of which was a spell book she had used in the tunnel. "Eliza, what are you doing?" She turned, pale and shaking. "It's not over, Ethan. I lied to you." "What?" "I didn't destroy the spell book after the tunnel. I studied it, and I learned the truth." Ethan stepped closer. "What truth?" Eliza whispered. "The Eternal Line isn't a train that takes people. It's a train that collects forgotten souls. Souls who escaped death or cheated time." Her eyes filled with fear. "And Ethan, you weren't supposed to survive that first ride." The return ticket. That night, Ethan was alone again. The golden ticket was glowing brighter now. A new message appeared on its back. "Boarding from Platform 0. Tonight, no delays." He had never heard of Platform Zero, but something inside him, some strange pull, knew exactly where to go. He drove to the abandoned Belridge station. It was falling apart, overgrown, silent, but under the moonlight, a staircase appeared behind the rusted ticket booth. It led downward, into darkness. He took a deep breath and descended. At the bottom was a hidden platform, and waiting there was the train, the Eternal Line, pristine, beautiful, freshly polished, as if it had never burned. The conductor stood outside, but this time it wasn't the faceless shadow he remembered. This time it was him. Final choice. The conductor removed his hat. He was Ethan, an older version. Eyes tired, soul heavy. Ethan stepped back. "What is this?" The older Ethan replied. "Time doesn't move forward on this train. It loops, repeats. You never destroyed it. You just became part of it." Ethan asked, voice shaking, "Then who's the real me?" The conductor said softly, "We both are. One of us boards. The other becomes the next conductor." 2 doors opened. One led to a seat, the other to the engine. The golden ticket burned brightly in his hand. Ethan realized this was never about escaping. It was always about choosing. That night, the train left the station, a single light glowing in the last carriage. Some say the Eternal Line still rides the hidden tracks, not to steal lives, but to find those who slip through the cracks of time. And if one foggy night you hear a whistle outside your window, don't answer, don't go looking, because once the train finds you, you'll always have a ticket, whether you remember it or not. Chapter title: The Cycle of Shadows. The wind howled across Platform Zero. Ethan stared at his own older face, the man who claimed to be him. The conductor. 2 doors stood before him. Door 1 to the passenger seat. Door 1 to the engine room, the place of power where the conductor lives, but never leaves. Older Ethan spoke, his voice like smoke in the wind. "Every time someone escapes the train, someone else must take the wheel. You escaped once. Now the train wants balance." Ethan clenched the golden ticket in his fist. It burned cold, like ice made of fire. "I won't become part of this," Ethan growled. "I destroyed the tracks." The conductor's eyes gleamed. "Did you? Look around." And when Ethan did, he gasped. Around a hidden platform, the shadows pulled away, revealing an entire underground city. Lost souls, walking silently. Thousands of them. Each wore a number on their back, like train cars. Each had a golden ticket, glued to their skin. Eliza was there. So was the boy from the first train. So was a professor who had vanished 20 years ago. All silent, all dreaming while awake. "They're not dead," the conductor said. "They're stuck in time. Just like you were. Just like I was." Ethan's heart raced. "Why didn't you escape?" The conductor gave a sad smile. "Because I chose the engine. I thought I could control the train. But I was wrong. The train doesn't want a driver. It wants a prisoner." Suddenly, a clock appeared in the air, ticking backwards. Every tick echoed like a heartbeat. Tick, tick, tick. The conductor screamed, grabbing his head. "It's happening. I can't hold it much longer." The cycle resets when the last passenger refuses. Ethan stepped forward. "Then maybe it's time to break the cycle." He opened the door, but not the passenger door. The engine door. Inside the engine room, it wasn't machinery. It was memories. Ethan saw his entire life flashing, his childhood. The first time he saw the train, Eliza's smile, the night of the tunnel. Then he saw the truth. He never escaped the train. From the moment he boarded it in Part 1, he had been in a loop, reliving versions of escape, versions of return, but always ending back here. He turned to the conductor. "How many versions of me are there?" The conductor whispered. "Too many to count. You are version 73. Ethan took a deep breath and said, "Then let version 73 be the last." He tore the golden ticket in half. This time, it ripped. The train screamed, metal groaning, souls crying, shadows tearing apart. The passengers on the platform looked up, their eyes open for the first time in years. Eliza stepped forward, calling out, Ethan, as the engine room collapsed, Ethan looked back at the conductor, who was now fading. You did it, the conductor whispered. You chose to end it, not escape it. With a smile, the conductor, the older Ethan, vanished into light. 1 year later, the Bell Ridge forest was quiet. The station was gone. Platform Zero never existed in any blueprint. No train ever passed through here, or so people believed. But Eliza remembered. Every year, on the same date, she visits the place where the train once stood. And under a tree nearby, there's a golden plaque buried in the ground. It reads, Ethan Gray, the passenger who broke the track, the conductor who freed time, the last ticket never used. They say trains only go where tracks are laid, but some trains make their own paths, and some passengers rewrite their fate. If you ever hear a whistle in the wind, but see no tracks, don't follow it, because that sound is not a train coming. It's one leaving forever.